During the height of their cruelty, the Nazi Einsatzgruppen were responsible for the mass murder of over 33,000 Jews within a mere 2-day period. These mobile death squads operated under the Nazi regime, comprising members from the Waffen-SS, Gestapo, and often receiving support from local fascist auxiliaries. They were deployed to the Eastern Front, along with paramilitary forces, and supported by the Wehrmacht to fulfill their mission of eliminating those deemed undesirable in the Nazi vision of the world. The primary targets were Jews, Romani people, and members of the cultural and political elite from nations considered inferior. The Einsatzgruppen's inception can be traced back to a key figure in Nazi history, Reinhard Heydrich. He played a significant role in steering the Nazis toward their ultimate, final solution for the Jewish question. Heydrich had previously utilized his security forces in occupied territories to facilitate the annexation of countries the Nazis sought to control. These groups, initially known as Einsatzkommando, were responsible for securing government buildings after Austria's Anschluss, during which Nazi Germany forcibly annexed Austria through assassination attempts and threats of invasion. Their prominence rose again during the Nazi annexation of the Sudetenland, part of Czechoslovakia. Their roles expanded from merely securing government buildings and documents to arresting and interrogating government officials. However, their involvement took a darker turn during the T4 program, the Nazi involuntary euthanasia program, which targeted vulnerable individuals with conditions such as Down syndrome and epilepsy. Over 275,000 people were killed, many in gas vans, foreshadowing the horrors yet to come. As World War II began and Germany invaded Poland, Heydrich appointed Werner Best to select and organize the Einsatzgruppen. These men were meticulously chosen from devoted and educated members of the SS, Sicherheitsdienst, Gestapo, and police, many of whom held doctorates, and had served in proto-Nazi groups formed after World War I. The objectives of the Einsatzgruppen aligned with Hitler's core aims: establishing Lebensraum in Eastern Europe for the growing Reich and annihilating all Untermenschen, who had no place in Hitler's vision. This primarily targeted Jews and Romani, while also seeking to eradicate communist leaders. The Nazi leadership considered the Jewish question since as early as 1933, exploring various ideas such as displacing Jews to Madagascar or a British protectorate in Palestine. However, the wholesale destruction of the Jewish race became their chosen path. Operation Barbarossa, the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941, provided the Einsatzgruppen with an opportunity to escalate their atrocities. Communism and Bolshevism were linked to Jews, partly due to some high-ranking Soviet officials being culturally Jewish and anti-Semitic stereotypes. Since the majority of European Jews lived in the Soviet Union, the Nazis saw the elimination of the Jewish population as integral to their plan for Lebensraum. As the German army advanced into Eastern Europe, the Einsatzgruppen unleashed their violence on Jewish communities. Pogroms were encouraged, with locals turning on their Jewish neighbors. The Nazis even released violent criminals from prisons, encouraging them to participate in the genocide. The Einsatzgruppen would arrive in towns or villages, round up the victims, and force them to march to nearby ravines or pre-dug graves. Once there, they would be executed en masse. One of the most infamous massacres was the Baben Yar massacre, overseen by Friedrich Jekyll, in which 33,000 people were killed in just 2 days. This efficient killing method, known as sardine packing, involved shooting victims in the back of the head and burying the survivors under a mass of corpses. As news of these massacres spread, the Nazi regime realized that such methods were becoming too inefficient for the large-scale extermination they sought. The Wannsee Conference in January 1942 marked a turning point. It was decided that Jews would be transported by rail to the east, where the SS would handle their extermination. Heydrich's plan aimed to work Jews to death, keeping a small number for forced labor to fuel the Nazi war machine. This final solution, to the Jewish question marked the path to Auschwitz and the Holocaust. The atrocities committed by the Einsatzgruppen serve as a harrowing reminder of the consequences of racial and extremist beliefs that dehumanize people and lead to unimaginable horrors. The Holocaust stands as a testament to the potential for cruelty that emerges when prejudice and bigotry go unchecked. It is crucial that we never forget these atrocities and remain vigilant against such ideologies to prevent history from repeating itself.